Hey guys, welcome back to Mango Invests. All right, we're doing another portfolio breakdown for the last month of 2025 to finish out the year. We're currently got $618,000 of total equity. We're currently down $900 in the day, and then overall we've got just over $19,000 there. We'll push straight into the overview so we can get a bit more of a breakdown for you guys. But this is taken into consideration the cash position itself in both Australian and the US market. So we've got $621,000 overall AUD, and this is how it's broken down. So in the Australian side of things, 2.24% is in FMG, and that equates to $13,942. And then in the US market, we've got 97.35% of the total money allocation in that, and that equates to $604,000. I haven't got anything in stake accumulate. I haven't really read into this too much. I believe it's just another fund where you just get an interest rate on the money. But again, I haven't really looked into that all that much. For the cash position, I've just got $18 in the Australian side of things, and in the US market, we're looking at 2,486. That's AUD. But yeah, let's have a look at all the companies that are in the portfolio. So with the Australian side of things, I just own FMG. That's just like a mining company there. Doing pretty well there. So I think I'm up, 25%, and I've only been investing for like a couple of months in FMG. I do want to get a little bit more Australian shares within the overall portfolio. But yeah. Time will tell with that one. So $2,828 return on that one. And then with the US market, nothing's really changed here. The biggest thing to note is the lack of dividends that I've been receiving from YieldMax. They haven't been performing well at all. Pretty bad if you ask me. But with Apple, they're still going strong. Again, like the market value is only $13,000. The return's only $6,000. If you guys have been watching my videos for quite some time, I did have a little bit more of an investment in Apple, but as the stock price has risen, I've decided to systematically sell off some shares to lock in some capital gains, and those capital gains have either gone to the cash position or other companies within the portfolio that pay a dividend. AGNC, overall, I'm down $1,189, but the amount of dividends that this company has been consistently paying me is unreal. I think, we could go back and tally it up, but, this company's just given me, tens of thousands of dollars worth of dividends over the course of, 3 to 4 years. And that they pay every month. It's around $709 every single month. So you equate that over to 3 or 4 years that I've owned the company. They've been performing fairly well. So I've put in $62,000 of my own money here, and now the market value is sitting at let's just say 61,000. So it hasn't been performing too bad. Alibaba, this was another company that I was negative $30,000 at one stage, and then I've stuck it out for 2 to 3 years, and now we're looking at upwards of $8,301 of total profit, which is pretty good to see. But moving down to Coney, this is at the start I was doing really well. I was up, a couple of $1,000 of total profit and getting thousands of dollars worth of dividends every single month. But yeah, that Coney hasn't really been performing as well as all the other YieldMax ETFs. They've been performing pretty bad lately, so I'm down $12,000 USD, which is terrible, and I'm also getting pretty low dividends. All right, so at the moment this has been a complete failure. Looking to see if it does turn around, but I don't think I won't sell these shares at all because I'm negative $12,000. I don't really want to realize that loss yet. So I suppose we're just going to hold it for the long term and just sort of see how we go. But JetQ, this is probably one of my biggest holdings. I've put $70,000 of my own money, and we're now sitting at $74,000. So, the returns are looking at just over $3,000, which is pretty good. And these guys are paying me a consistent dividend of like $500 to $600 every single month. So pretty happy with JEPQ overall. MRNY, that's the exact same story as Coney. Negative, lots of money. The dividends have now, drastically reduced, which is annoying. But again, I'm not going to sell it and realize a $9,700 loss. That'd just be silly at this point. So I'm just going to hold it and see if we get a turnaround within the next couple of years. Microsoft, I'll probably put that in the same category as Apple. So I've only got $13,000 worth of market value at the moment because, they've been performing pretty well over the last couple of years. I've systematically sold them down to realize a couple of gains and then put that either in the cash position or into some more dividend paying companies such as, JEPQ or AGNC. But yeah, so up $6,400 at the moment. Pretty happy with that one. Misty, again, terrible. Another yield max ETF, -8 or almost $9,000, and the dividends are pretty bad, which we'll have a look at in like very shortly. Realty Income Corporation, again, this is just the monthly paying dividend company. Everybody knows Realty Income, very consistent. You won't really get much sort of fluctuations with the stock price, although it does pay a consistent dividend every single month. So I'll take that. I'll probably end up selling it to put into JEPQ or Apple and Microsoft a little bit later on, but the dividend yield is pretty consistent. QILD, another big portion of the portfolio, one of the top three. So I've put in $60,000. The market value is $60,000, but again, the consistent dividend in which it pays is pretty good. Rhyme, just a day trading stock. I thought I'd have a bit of fun with that. It's gone pretty terrible, but yeah, I'll just keep it in there for the time being. SCHD, that's doing pretty well. So I've put $46,000 of my own money in there, and we're up $2,700, which isn't too bad. Although this is a quarterly paying dividend company, it doesn't pay too bad. The thing about SCHD, or the positive point, is that the dividend increases in which they do every single year, it's pretty consistent and it's on a bit of an uptrend, which is good to see. Tesla, this has always been a good stock for me. I bought in extremely early when I was a little bit younger, but I've put in $14,000 of my own money, and we're now up to $31,000 here. I'll just show you. I got really lucky with the when I bought and sold Tesla. I'll just show you the trades and the buy price, but let's go back to the 5-year period. Yeah, so I had Tesla way back, years and years ago, and I sold it right on the uptrend when it was sitting around $436. And then so we sold all that, and then it went down again at the perfect time. I rebought, let's just see here, 61 or almost 62 shares at a buy price of $226. And it's gone back up. So I've actually done really well with Tesla. I don't know if I'm gonna sell it again. I don't really want to realize the gains, and I honestly do think Tesla will go up to upwards of $600 per share. It's just a matter of time. I understand there's a lot of hype around Tesla. They don't really have much cash flow to back that up, or the revenues in which they're getting from the cars, etc., etc. But I do think Tesla will win in the long run. But let's have a look at some of the dividends that we've been earning for the last couple of months. Recent transactions. We'll click the filter of dividends, and we'll just go to the date range from the 1st of November till today's date. All right, and let's just have a look. So just want you to have a look at the yield max ETFs like Coney. Or another fun fact, they've actually changed to weekly payments now. So they used to pay every single month. So Coney's dividend, for this week, they paid $234. So, I mean, realistically, in the month, they're only paying around $800, which is, I mean, it's pretty bad. When I first started investing in Coney and Misty, they were paying thousands of dollars every single month of dividends, and now they're down to $600 to $800, which is pretty annoying. JEPQ, You can see they paid, 597, so they're just pretty consistent. It's not the biggest dividend, but, yeah, at least they're being sort of consistent. I'm not really having to worry about them cutting their dividend like Coney and Misty and things like that. AG&C, again, $709. This is very consistent. I think they're paying like 12 cents per share. Yep, just you can see here, 12 cents per share. They've been pretty consistent. It is a real estate investment trust. There is a little bit of fluctuation with the stock price. But until they cut their dividend from 12 cents, I'll continue to hold AG&C. They've been pretty good. Realty Income Corporation, they've been very consistent at 20 or 27 cents per share. They've been paying $174 every single month, and that's been pretty consistent. Look at MRNY, $77 for the week. Misty, $68 for the week. Comparing it upwards. This week they paid $58, and then MRNY paid $85. So there is a little bit of a fluctuation. And again, you've got AG&C paying the $709, and the JetQ paid a little bit more than last time, $695. So that's not too bad there. So still lots and lots of dividends coming in, but again, the disappointment being the yield max ETFs. Let's just have a look at the dividend spreadsheet. So again, this is a spreadsheet in which I'll put every single month's worth of dividends. I calculate them all up, and we've got the last one of November of 2025, and you can see how, like in the last couple of months, over this range here, that you can distinctly see where the yield max ETFs have dropped off. So we had like a massive rise in, October of 2024. We were getting $4,175 worth of dividends, and we saw a massive uptrend because the yield max ETFs are doing so well, and now they've dropped off, and you can start to see a dramatic effect here. All of this is in USD as well. So just remember, when you make the conversion to Australian currency, it's a little bit more. But for the month of November of 2025, we only got 2,744. If we were to go back to the last November, we've got 4,291. So pretty big disappointment there. But again, that's the risk you take when you want to invest in these yield max ETFs. You're not necessarily going to have that consistency. But yeah, that's pretty much the dividend portfolio, or the update that I wanted to give you guys here. I'll be doing a net worth update very shortly. Just remember, I do have this stock portfolio that you guys can see here. Although I just recently bought a place. Most of those dividends that we've taken out of the cash position haven't been getting reinvested to this stake portfolio. They've been going on, I've got to pay a massive tax bill to start. That's slowly getting reduced as we speak, but we also paid for a $30,000 bathroom renovation for the house. So yeah, I do want to do a net worth video for you guys, just to keep you up to date with that one. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out, and I'll catch us in the next one.